I have new tires and finally new brakes I'll share. Welcome back and thanks for being here. My name is Scott, and if you've been watching my videos, particularly my 5-year video, then you know that this car's got quite a lot of miles on it for a 5-year-old car. When I shot that video, I had 140,000 miles. Now I'm at about 145,000 miles. And in that video, I said that I feel like these brakes could probably pass another inspection, or at least my old brakes. And I decided to not even bother with it. I didn't want to have a rejection sticker slapped on the car or put up with any nonsense. So I went ahead and just replaced the brakes. And you know, I didn't look at the pads to see how close I was to needing to replace them. There were no funny noises coming from the brakes or anything like that, so I know they were fine. So you may be wondering, what did I replace them with? Well, if you look, they look really stock, and that's because they are. I'm the type of driver that probably could have been happy with a Golf. I mean, I drove Jettas for 20 years, over 20 years, and so yeah, a well-equipped Golf would have made me happy, but I bought the GTI because of the additional power potential, and I got the sport model with the performance package so that I could have the upgrades already. So I didn't bother upgrading these brakes because to me these are the upgrade. So these are the factory brakes. I even got them at the dealer, and yeah, they cost more that way, but I got good service life out of the dealer pads and rotors, and so why not? I went ahead and just kept on going with these. The car is mostly a highway car, and occasionally I do some spirited driving. Occasionally I really dive into the brakes, but for the most part I'm driving it pretty normally. So as I drive the car, this is really too much brake for what I have, so I had no need to upgrade these to anything bigger and better. Along the same lines of having the factory brakes, I still have not only factory suspension, but the original suspension. I'll shine the camera in here and let you take a look, but there's no leaks, no excessive rebound. I mean, the car is not quite as tight or stiff on the road as it was when it was brand new, but it's still plenty firm. My wife still hates it, so I guess the car's doing something right. And they're holding up great. I think I already said no leaking. There's no evidence of anything wrong with these struts. And some of my performance-oriented friends would say, they have said, oh dude, I guarantee you they're blown. They're blown. But the car still handles fine, and there's no dive on braking. There's no excessive rolls in the corners. I'm going to keep running them until I find evidence of a problem. And here's another thing that I find interesting about this factory, not just the factory setup, but the original setup. My alignment is still perfect. 145,000 miles later, a few potholes, and even what was on this side of the car, I bent 2 wheels hitting a pothole or something. And even through all of that, the car still tracks perfectly. And so I don't want to replace the suspension if I don't have to. I am just now starting to get, as I back up my driveway's on an incline, and then I have to maneuver to get up it. I'm just now getting to the point where I hear a little bit of creaking in the front, and that's very likely the strut bearings, and that is so slight. I mean, I'm hardly even worried about it, and so I'm going to just keep on running with them. All right, let me talk about these tires. I got 40,000 miles out of the Michelin all-season 3 Pluses that I had on the car before, and I really like those. I think, those were my 3rd set of tires. My 2nd set of tires, I don't guess I used them terribly long. I wound up, because I was switching colors with the wheels. These are powder coated. These are the factory wheels, by the way. These are Volkswagen Nogaro. They're standard equipment on the UK GTD, I think from 2013 to 2016, I think. And then they must have had a surplus of them, so they sent them over here to the States and put them on the sport trim of the GTI for 2017 only. So these were originally machine faced and painted black in the back, and so I went ahead and just had them powder coated. And when I did that, I switched tires again. Later, I gave those other tires, they weren't my factory tires, I wore those things out in about 40,000 miles as well. So whatever tires I got second, I wound up giving to my daughter, and then she burned through them pretty quickly because they were probably only half-life or so. Anyway, back to my tires. The AS3 Pluses were fantastic, and I would love to recommend them, but they were discontinued in favor of the replacement here, the AS4. I think they just call them All-Season 4, so they're not called AS anymore, but I think people still abbreviate it as AS4. So this is the Michelin Pilot Sport All-Season 4, and they say it's an improvement over the AS3 Plus, and I agree. They hold better. When I really punch it, this is an IS38 GTI, by the way, and so when I punch it, they hold a little bit better. They don't spin quite as eagerly as the AS3 Pluses did. And a small consequence, I'm starting to get a little bit of clutch slippage, so I may be seeing a clutch in my future, and I'll talk about the clutch in a completely different video. I'm changing paths with that a little bit. The tires, I have 5,000 miles on them already, and I can still, when I drive, say through a drive-through with the windows down or something like that, if you've ever driven performance tires, you know that they have this sticky, Velcro-y type of sound to them, like tape being pulled off a glass or something as you drive around in corner. I still hear that with these, and so their grip is just amazing, and their tackiness, the only problem with them, I haven't suffered it yet, is when they're that sticky, they pick up screws and debris much more eagerly, but that hasn't been a problem yet. Knock on something wood, there is nothing here, so oops, I might have jinxed myself. We'll see how that goes. Let me know if you have any questions about this setup. I mean, if you've got a GTI that you fixed up and upgraded, then you're probably wondering, why did I bother getting a GTI? Well, I told you, I wanted a Golf that was upscaled, upfitted, and so this is the upgrade for me. If you've got a Golf or a, say, a base S GTI without these bigger brakes, these are a great upgrade for those cars. The only thing that I might change if I could, well, I know I can, I just don't want to spend the money on it, I wouldn't mind getting some 17-inch wheels that will clear these brakes, and then that will give me just a little bit more comfort. But I've got 3 sets of these Nogaros, and I got them as spares, expecting I might bend them, and I've been lucky. The pair that I bent, I got them straightened. In fact, this is them. Yeah, I'm not changing anything anytime soon. So the car is perfect the way it is. I'm going to keep on running. I'll let you know. We'll find out together. Let's see if I can make it to 200,000 miles. So, all right. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Take care.